Live and exclusive. The Valley Radio Online. The new voice for community radio in the Bridgnorth area. Giving you a voice, keeping you informed.
On a sunny March morning in Sussex, I rang the bell, turned and looked across the downs and thought, what a beautiful place to live. Then there came a knock at the window. I turned round, and the most surreal of moments in my life. Dame Vera Lynn was tapping on the window, smiling broadly, and gesturing to me that she was going to come and open the door. So began one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. The chance to sit, have coffee and biscuits, and chat with the iconic Dame Vera Lynn. First, I asked her about her childhood, growing up in East Ham, and about her first tentative steps to becoming a musical legend. When you were growing up, and it was East Ham you grew up in, wasn't it? Were your first aspirations, were you surrounded by singing? Was music part of your life as you were growing up?
Well, yes, I suppose it was really. Once my mother discovered I could sing, and a friend took me to one of his concerts when I was 7. It really started from there, and then I just used to sing at the working men's clubs at weekends, and I continued with doing that until I got a test for the radio.
Right.
And moved on from there, really.
Yeah.
Although the first time I did an audition for the BBC, they turned me down because they said my voice wasn't suitable for broadcasting.
Really? Really? Somebody was very wrong then, weren't they?
Yes.
But that's amazing, because you've gone really from sort of singing as a child to singing publicly and doing auditions. Yes. Was singing something then that you always wanted to do?
Well, not really, not until I got a bit older and I discovered that it was a good way of earning money.
Right.
And so I progressed with it, because like every youngster wants to earn money, and I couldn't see myself earning any better money by staying to dressmaking, and my mother was a court dressmaker, and that's why she's sent me off to, but it really wasn't to my liking.
You're right.
Sitting in a room with a lot of girls just sewing.
No, I can see that. Having decided, or having sort of moved into singing as a way of making a few bob.
Yes.
Was it something then that, as you became better at it and you became better known, did you have aspirations to be sort of successful and famous and rich?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, my ambition, I remember, at that time was to be to sing with a big band,
right,
and the best band in the country. Mm-hmm. And I suppose that happened when I joined Joe Loss.
Yes.
And because I only sang with him on his broadcasts, I didn't sing with him at the dance hall, that he was playing. So that's really how it really all started, and from then Henry Hall didn't want me, and Charlie Coons and Joe Loss did, so
right.
I went on from there.
Because it's interesting, you were talking about your voice and they said it wasn't suitable for broadcasting, because I was interested reading in your book, in your autobiography, that you actually went to a voice training coach.
Oh, yes, point. Yeah.
And you didn't get on with that, did you?
Well, no. You see, I went to see this woman, And my aim was really to try and extend my range, because I didn't have a very big range, although it sounded as though I did. My high notes sounded a lot higher than they were.
Right.
And I thought, well, I could sing a lot of different other songs that I couldn't sing when I, tried them over, because they were going too high.
Yeah.
And anyway, she was rather down-putting and said, that's not a natural voice that you've got. She said, I can't possibly train that. So that was the beginning and end, really, of my singing lessons. Didn't last long.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way that you sing, I mean, you describe yourself as a crooner. Is that? Well,
that's what we were called in those days.
Yes.
The radio singers was croon, and was Crosby and various other singers that were singing with dance bands, and they were called crooners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did you choose your own songs?
Oh yes, always.
Yeah.
I never let anybody choose what.
Right. So what do you look for in a song then, Dame Vera?
What did I look for?
What did you look for?
Well, I used to listen to the melody first.
Right.
And if it was a nice melody and within my register, that was the important thing. No good of me learning a song that I couldn't reach the notes.
Right.
And once I'd got that organised in my mind, then I would look at the words. And if they were nice, sensible words and songs that were easily remembered, thinking of the public wanting to sing songs, then I would decide on the material.
Right. Now, presumably then, I was interested. I found a quote that you've, again, from your book. It says in your book that this is an unknown writer who was saying that the reason that your songs struck such a chord was because even though they were popular songs, they were sentimental lyrics, you sang them with such belief in the words and such passion, as though they were folk songs, or they were that you believed in them and your listeners believed in them. Is that something that you've always felt?
Well, yes, because that's why I was so careful about the lyrics of the songs.
Yeah.
I had to feel the words myself and know that they were possible and people could easily remember them, which was important. If you wanted to sing popular music, you wanted to record and broadcast songs that were not difficult to remember, either the words or the music. And I thought, well, if they're easy for me to sing, then anybody can sing them.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wasn't a soprano or a contralto. I was the middle of the range, and felt that most young girls could sing the songs because they probably have a voice similar to mine.
That's interesting, because of course we're now in a sort of culture of where celebrity is everything and everybody wants to be famous for being famous, and image is a huge thing. Were you conscious in the early days that you had an image, or you were developing an image that people liked and people enjoyed?
Well, yes, you begin to feel that what you were doing was right, and you would develop that and not go out of that area. I was often asked to sing songs that I didn't believe in, or were a problem to sing. I wasn't enjoy singing them. Then I would cut them out. I wouldn't. Right. I would only sing songs that I found easy to sing.
Yes.
And I liked the words and the tune, and then I would decide to record them or broadcast them.
Now, coming back to your broadcasting, of course, because the BBC did eventually allow you on the airwaves.
Oh, yes. It was too sentimental, they said.
Yes.
Yes, it'd make the boys homesick.
Oh, this is Sincerely Yours.
Yes.
And because it wasn't just the BBC though. There were MPs that were lobbying to get you off the air.
Well, what would they know about music, you know, that the general public liked. So that's when I went to Radio Luxembourg, because the BBC didn't want me.
Right.
And which was good, you know, because I reached a different public.
Yes, yeah. Were you surprised, though, at just how much the British public generally, but also the armed forces in particular, how much they embraced you and how much they took to you?
Well, I think it was because they felt that I was on their level.
Right.
You know, I wasn't a soprano or anyone who was singing classical songs that was out of their living area, if you know what I mean. And the songs they could understand, and they would sing along at their own parties at home.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why I suppose they liked me.
How because of course you were voted the forces sweetheart, weren't you?
Well, that was a newspaper.
Yeah, that's right. It was the Daily Express.
Yes.
Wasn't it? Yeah, and that was right at the beginning of the war, the sort of the end of the phony war, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was very early on in your career, really.
Yes. Which was good, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I was getting established before the war started.
Yes, yeah.
So I could feel that it wasn't just because of the war that I was getting well known.
Yeah, yeah. But of course, the war years, you became synonymous.
Absolutely,
with the war
absolutely.
Years.
Yeah.
So much so that 2000 was it? You were voted the Briton who most reflected the spirit of the 20th century.
Yes.
Which that's some accolade, isn't it?
Yes, it is, certainly.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. It was many years later.
Yes, yeah. And with I mean, it was a huge popular vote as well, which I guess it must be. It's very difficult to sort of know how you learn to live with the iconic status that you've been granted.
Well, I never thought about it really. You know, I recognised the fact that it was lovely, and I was very proud to be named as such. But I was just doing what I'd always done since years and years since I was tiny. You know, singing songs that I liked and songs that happened to appeal to the public.
Yeah, yeah. So, going back to the war days, then, of course, you of course travelled abroad. You went to the sort of Burma. You went very close to the front line as well, which was, I mean, nowadays it wouldn't be allowed. Was that a decision that you took yourself?
Well, yes, because during the broadcasts, I could tell by the fan mail from all over. And I thought, well, I've been singing to these chaps over the air. I'd like to go and visit them and sing in person. So I approached ENSA and said that I'd like to go overseas. So they said, where do you want to go? The continent, Holland? You know, I said, no, there's a lot of ENSA parties going on the continent. I want to go where nobody wants to go.
Right.
So they said, well, Burma's the place that nobody seems to want to entertain. So I said, right, well, that's where I want to go, where they're not getting anything. I said, no, you know, it's a waste of my time, really, if they're already getting a lot of entertainment anywhere. So they said, OK, we'll try and organise it. So they organised it to a certain extent, but then after that, if I wanted to go any further, it had to be done through the War Office.
Right. Yeah.
And anyway, they organised it and gave me permission, and that's how I went further on.